The new season of survival of the fittest in the wilderness is going all out. For the sake of the show's effect, they are directly challenging the limits of intensity. This time, the location chosen by the production team for the Warriors is still in Canada. However, it is very far north, only 125 miles away from the Arctic Circle, located in the vast 4,700 square mile Mackenzie River Delta. Here, rivers, lakes, and swamps crisscross like a huge maze. Every year, it is covered in ice and snow for more than 8 months. The extreme temperature can break through -40°C, and what awaits the contestants is not only the solitude, cold, and perpetual night of the Arctic, but also the threat from beasts due to lack of food. This is the home of grizzly bears and wolves. The total number exceeds 10,000. I don't know who will ultimately win and get the tempting $500,000 reward. First, let's meet the 10 warriors of this season. The first one is Isaiah. This lively and active guy surprisingly has a baby face but is already 36 years old. From the United States, he is a forest ranger specializing in dealing with illegal poaching. He is an expert in the living habits of wildlife and wilderness survival. The second is Dub. This is a very elegant-looking uncle. 44 years old, American. He can make a musical instrument out of anything at any time and entertain himself. He has been used to outdoor life since childhood. Hunting and fishing are his expertise. He believes that this season's challenge is more difficult than any previous season, but he still firmly believes that he will achieve the final victory. The third is Michaela. This cute girl is 34 years old. She is a Canadian native. Compared with other contestants, she has an additional advantage. Her hometown is also a delta region. She has a natural familiarity with the Mackenzie River Delta, benefiting from her family heritage. Michaela has been practicing hunting and fishing skills since childhood, although she is very humble, claiming to seriously learn from other strong warriors. But she also said she came here to fight for the indigenous people, to compete with skill, style, and national pride. The fourth is Pete. This uncle is awesome. He is actually a librarian. This is a novel profession for living alone in the wilderness. Don't underestimate this uncle, who is already 42 years old and slightly overweight. He has the skill of setting traps and surviving in the wilderness, which he diligently practiced and honed since the age of 12. He is also Canadian. Is he a weak scholar or a survival king? We wait and see. The fifth is William. This middle-aged uncle is from a small town in Canada. He has been fishing for a living since childhood and is good at setting traps and hunting, this time, from his idyllic hometown. He just wants to see how good his skills really are. The sixth is Timber. This 36-year-old American guy engages in humanitarian aid work with his family. He has been used to hard days without water and electricity since childhood. Therefore, he has developed extremely strong hands-on ability and learned a whole set of survival strategies. Good at luring and setting traps. He confidently believes that he will definitely not go hungry. The seventh is Dusty. The full beard perfectly conceals his age. Like Timber, he is a 36-year-old guy from the United States. His home is actually in the primeval forest. Therefore, he learned hunting, fishing, and other skills since childhood. Friends affectionately call him the Wild Man. Coming here to participate in the challenge is to test his own limits, because he knows, unless there is a life-threatening situation, the production team will not lend a helping hand. The eighth is Kirby. It's time for the mysterious age-guessing game again. How old is this contestant with a very cute name? If I didn't tell you, could you imagine that he is actually the youngest contestant this season? This 33-year-old guy from the United States. His name originally means Little Tiger. He comes from a family with a very primitive style, farming and living off the land since childhood. He has developed skills in making fire with wood and luring prey. But what he is most proud of is his house building skills. Using simple wood, he can build a warm and dry shelter. It's simply the king's skill for wilderness survival. The ninth is Sarah. This American woman is 49 years old. She operates a fishing ground with her husband. It's almost isolated from the world. There's not even electricity. Everything has to be done with their own hands. She is confident that this long-term harmonious life with nature will definitely give her an advantage to win this competition. The only thing she regrets is that there are only 2 female contestants this season. She thinks that although women are slightly inferior in physical strength, when it comes to mental toughness and strength, everyone present is a little brother. The 10th is Jack. This is a 42-year-old American man. He claims to have been hunting since he could walk, and he really enjoys this kind of isolated life. Enjoy the process of conquering nature and have the desire to control. It seems he is a big boss who is tough and doesn't talk much. After the final physical examination before departure, the 10 warriors took their prepared tools and embarked on a brand new journey this season. Will they be greeted by thorns everywhere or crises all around? And who will become the final king? Enjoying the glory of victory and generous rewards, the 10 people determined their drop-off locations by drawing lots. Isaiah was placed in a swampy grassland. surrounded by flat land with a ring of trees in the distance. This kind of place is not suitable for concealment. Isaiah began to explore into the jungle. He walked with difficulty through the dense forest, trying to find a safe place to make the base camp for this challenge. It would be even better if he could find a good fishing spot along the way. After all, the feeling of being hungry is not pleasant. Finally emerging from the woods to the riverside, the clear footprints on the wetland by the river immediately caught his attention. After careful identification, this place is indeed full of life. Not only packs of wolves, but also footprints of a large and small grizzly bear. Isaiah's mood was heavy, because he knows that a bear mother with a cub is not a gentle and good-tempered creature. 70% of fatal attacks from grizzly bears come from bear mothers protecting their cubs. Faced with such a tricky situation, Isaiah could only laugh out loud without being rude. Next door, William was airdropped onto a small hilltop. The uncle is a pragmatist who believes in working hard no matter what. Without even a moment's rest, he directly took a large fishing net and went down the mountain to the riverside, using 2 straight tree trunks to secure the fishing net, quietly waiting for lunch to take the bait. While the uncle went to set up the tent without stopping, he nimbly cut several tree branches and put them together. Although simple, the prototype of the tent could already be seen. After about the right amount of time, the uncle went to the river to check the results. As a result, he was overjoyed to find that a big fish had actually entered the net. The excited uncle was grinning from ear to ear. But before he could be happy for 2 minutes, the big fish actually broke through the net and escaped. Seeing several days' worth of food go down the drain, the uncle couldn't hide his disappointment. But gaining is my fortune, losing is my fate, this is probably life. With no choice, he could only temporarily leave the sad place. On the other side, Dub was very relaxed. He actually lifted his clothes and started rubbing his belly button. Suddenly he heard a sound. Turning his head to look, it was actually a reindeer. Unfortunately, there was no gun. Reindeer are also protected animals that are forbidden to hunt. So after the man and the reindeer gazed at each other deeply for a few seconds, they each turned around and walked away. Dub chose to first find a safe place for himself. He chose a location with the most auspicious feng shui, facing the river and backed by the tree branches to build a small hut layer by layer. It looked very secure. Night fell quickly. Dub was lying in the hut feeling very pleased. Suddenly a strange sound startled him. He keenly sensed that it was a grizzly bear. He dared not move at all, only hoping the grizzly bear would leave on its own. Fortunately there was a scare but no harm. Dub saw the sun the next day. Dub, who hadn't slept well all night, had dark circles under his eyes, started the work of renovating the safe house. He felt that increasing the distance between himself and the bear as much as possible would give him time to use the bear spray. So he couldn't wait to reinforce the hut again. As for our girl Michaela, when it came to building a hut, she was clean, efficient, and meticulous. In no time she built a temporary tent. It looked simple, generous, clean, and tidy. Then she actually started doing handicrafts with grass. 2 beautiful little ducks took shape in her hands. Did she fear a lonely life and use these to pass the time? Only when she put the little ducks into the water did we know that this smart girl was using these lifelike little ducks to lure and catch real ducks. With all this done, the girl carried tree trunks twice her height to the riverside. These were her tools for setting up fishing nets. According to her, she doesn't like fishing in shallow water. If you're going to do it big. Big nets catch big fish, don't be afraid of not opening. Once you open you can eat for 3 years. When she had free time, Michaela began to observe the terrain. She discovered tracks left by sharp wolf claws. Instantly on alert, Isaiah, who also discovered animal footprints, spent a few days safe and sound. Every day he patrolled his territory like a western cowboy on an adventure. What he used most often to stave off hunger were various berries. But after eating too many berries and with the dry weather, he suddenly started getting nosebleeds. But he was very calm and didn't panic because of this. He just decided to reduce his intake of various strange berries and shift his target to protein. So he went to the riverside to start fishing. While Michaela, who also wanted to catch fish to eat using a net, was really out of luck. Not only did she come up empty for 2 days in a row, her fishing net setup also had problems and needed repairs. The hardworking Michaela quickly fixed the fishing net and reset it. On the other side, Uncle William was much luckier than them. He found a lot of delicious little berries and didn't get a nosebleed, and luckily discovered rabbit tracks. He decisively set a trap. Thinking of the delicious rabbit meat, he could even wake up smiling from a dream. When he came to the riverside, he found many small fish swimming in the water. William, who had practiced fishing skills since childhood, picked up a tree branch by the river and demonstrated his superb fish spearing technique. In no time he scooped up 5. Truly blessed to lie flat without toil, life is full of flavor. But the hardworking and capable Michaela was not favored by the goddess of luck. Her little ducks and fishing nets all came up empty. She walked on the road listlessly. Suddenly a bright red little fruit caught her attention. Picking it up, it turned out to be a little squirrel's kidney. Although unlucky, she had good eyesight. Michaela finally had her first barbecue in a few days. According to her, it tasted pretty good. Looking again at the white, chubby and hopeful little tiger Kirby. He joined the competition to improve his and his wife's life. Even in front of the camera, he never forgot to express his love for his wife. This seemed to be his motivation to work. After reaching the designated location, Kirby first built a temporary tent for himself to live in and lit a campfire to ensure safety. He was very satisfied with the safe spot he chose. But he didn't know what kind of big gift fate was preparing for him.